everyone. Today I wanted to talk about the fact that my work includes mind, body, and spirit realignment, and I often talk about mindset, and I talk about body and a somatic experiencing, and I don't as frequently speak about the spiritual part, and today I wanted to talk about it to the extent that it affects our awakening and our relationships. And as I started going through my awakening, I've frequently thought about the fact that there were certain circumstances in my life that have forced me to change, to transform, because I had to shift from my familiar identity, things that were familiar to me, things that I held on to for the sense of who I am. I had come into more of an authentic version of who I was. I have been able to reclaim some parts of me that I had discarded at childhood when I tried to adapt myself to the environment in which I was raised. And something that has come to me in these last several days that I've been thinking about, it's that spiritual part of relationships, and that the awakening, that we have a tendency to think of it as something very individual and very, we somehow attach our identity to our awakening. And what I'm trying to say is that the actual process of awakening is greater than we are individually. And I've been thinking a lot about the fact that actually my children, especially my first child, were an incredible push toward a change and awakening, a true awakening from what I considered life was, and the values about life, and the things that I felt were important, that I tried to build my life around. But I resisted it. So as she became more and more of a force in my life toward change, I resisted it. I didn't understand it. I resisted it. So then other factors needed to happen for me to wake up. And when she was a teenager, I started my process of awakening more consciously. And it's only today, 8 years since I consider my process has started, I realized that the process of awakening is not an individual process, it's an evolutionary process. That each of us, as we expand our conscious awareness, participates in a greater movement in life. And I realized that as my daughters were provoking my growth and transformation and change, I then became also a force for change within my own family. So I became an impact of change with my husband. I now carry change back to my daughters and affect other people who come in contact with me. So this is what I wanted to share today, that there are, in awakening, in relationships, there are many forces and factors, but there are two things that I wanted to discuss today. One is becoming, so growth, freedom, expansion, and the other one is belonging, which has to do with integrating the change as we get access to it from above or from whatever are our sources of awakening. So very many of us, once again, talk about my awakening, my change, my transformation, without realizing that we then are meant to carry that change, that becoming, that transformation back into our relationships. And that is that part of that need to belong, that need to be part of a community. When we feel that now that we are becoming bigger, more expanded, that whenever we feel too tight, whenever we feel that we're stuck in our relationships, that is actually an additional evolutionary impulse to continue changing within the relationship, because there is no such thing as stuckness. So our sense of stuckness is a perception. And because we're so used to escaping the fact of staying with the discomfort, actually has additional evolutionary and awakening information for us. So I don't know, today, just having been writing all morning about these about this information, about this insight that I got, it felt that there is so much more of almost a plan around my life. I've already sensed that everything that brought me to where I am today there was an intention behind it, but I'm starting to come into awareness of something even greater than that all people who come into our life, all relationships are here to bring information to us and to continue helping us along our path of evolution and awareness. That I don't think there are any wrong relationships. Every discomfort actually has information for us. So it's not even about pleasure and pain as much as collecting data, understanding something about our own attachments or desires to escape as part of evolutionary journey. I hope this makes sense to everyone. It's very new for me, this information. I'm trying to really unify it, but wanted to come out and tell you this today, because this, as it's coming into my awareness and as I am absorbing it. So I hope you find it helpful. Please let me know if anything resonates with you, or if you have any questions. And this is definitely one of the materials that I will be addressing in my Magnetism Mastery course, which starts at the end of October, where I will be talking about mind, body, and spirit alignment in our relationship with ourselves as foundational to all other relationships. So please reach out in comments or in the DM if you would like more information about my course, or if you just have any comments or questions for me for this video. Thanks, everyone.